was thinking about I want you to think about a version of that ASK called the Submariner. The whole knife's impervious to corrosion, right? Completely except the blade. But if we Armaloop the blade black, and we did the handles gray, we could do a knife called the Submariner. I think it would be fucking cool.
Standard tools or?
No, we'll come up with a different tool for it, but it gives us a theme, a color, and an idea.
Right.
And then I want to do one called the Commuter. It's got, instead of the chisel, it's got a thing for changing a tire on a road bike. That's like right up our alley, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Triple fun. Yeah.
And maybe a little wrench for valve stem. Because you know they have those nutted valve stems.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Perfect little pocket knife to ride. Yes, what's up?
I forgot to tell you, Christian found out. He didn't contact me. That's
Is he sick? Are we annoyed?
no, I think it's 2 weeks. Week. I don't know. Weird. I don't like it.
Oh, guys get sick. Let's see if it's real.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not stressing this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because like that Commuter is kind of like a mountain bike.
Yeah, mountain bike or street bike.
Yes, but they use those tubeless.
The mountain bikers use solid rubber, right? Or do they use air?
No, it's air, but they use tubeless, but it still has all the same valve thing and all that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I had to get in depth learning how to, do it. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So if you wanted to start putting some questions together about that and what we want to have for tools, it would be a great.
Okay, then I'll pull out my toolkit and look at this, look at the bike stuff, right? I got all these stuff. One guy, they're all into it. I'll reach out to him.
Yeah, like, hey, if you were stuck on doing the Death Valley ride on your bike, what was the one or two tools you'd want to have with you no matter what?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Thanks. Hey, Jeff, are we doing lunch today? Are we doing lunch today? A lot going on, you guys. I gotta put some boxes together because we got somebody out sick, and I can talk to y'all, and I'm trying to get some things shipped out to a friend of mine for his business that we made, and I don't want to delay him, so people say, oh, you got a well-oiled machine, Greg, it's awesome, you don't even need to be there. And I say, well, it's interesting you say that. The interesting thing about a well-oiled machine is it requires oil every day. We were just looking at the podcast studio, which is, the studio is done. The 3-camera setup is all in. Our electronics are all in. We've got to do some cable and cord management at this point, which is a real thing. And then, let's see, last night I baked an apple pie from memory. I haven't cooked an apple pie since I was baked an apple pie since I was about, I don't know, maybe 12 years old with my grandmother. Her name was Pauline N. Duval, and she married my grandfather, Christy Nikotopoulos. And they were married forever, all the way to the end. Anyways, I learned to bake and sew with her, And I also learned that I learned some old-fashioned like homemaker skills because she wore an apron every day and heels and had a purse and shoes that were always complimentary to the seasons. And she wore gloves when she went out and always wore hats. So around the house, my family was in trucking. They would be up early in the morning, and she would get up wearing her muumuu and come out and burn eggs and burn ham and burn bacon and cook toast and get the men off to work. And then she would get herself ready, and I never saw her not in a dress. She'd be appointed in a dress and heels. She'd have an apron on immediately. I remember her clomping her way down the house. You'd hear her steps. First thing she'd do is now start getting the kids ready because everybody else has already left. Or the kids were going to work too and they were gone. And then she would get ready, clomp down through the house. I remember her tying on her apron, you know, as she was walking off to do something. And I remember her putting her apron on and she was off to it. Just right outside, sweep down the steps. Right outside, sweep off the driveway. Not with a push broom, not all industrial, like a lady would. And then she'd be outside, she'd clean off a window, have a step stool out there, and she'd yell at me, "Greg, go get the whitewash." I would go get paint from out of her turquoise green louvered closet. "Get the turpentine." And we would paint the fence. We'd paint a section of fence. "You know, if you always paint the fence, you never have to paint the fence." She said, if you always paint the fence, you never have to paint the fence. I was like, you don't think about all those little life lessons you learn when you're a kid, and I remember them now, and they just are, they're like profound. If you always paint the fence, you never have to paint the fence. So she would always paint a little 10-foot section of it, and then be like, "Oh, it's warm, let's go inside." And she'd be like, "Hey, go get the pruning shears, and let's go trim the rose bushes." We'd go do that. "Hey, I want to trim the boughs off the bottom of the Christmas tree out front." She always had a Christmas tree going by the flagpole. "Let's paint the flagpole, Grego." It was always something. So she kept the home tidy, and we were always just working together. So last night, I cut up Granny Smith apples. I made some sugar. I made some sugar sauce that I thickened with a teaspoon of flour. I made fresh top and bottom crust. I did a basket weave top. So it was 2.5 cups flour. I was just kind of guessing. It looked about right. Long memory. I haven't done it in a long time. 2.5 cups flour. 6 or 7 tablespoons of ice water. 2 long sticks of butter. I remember it's 2 long sticks of butter cut up into 1/4-inch cubes. It's a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of salt. And I didn't have a pastry cutter, which looks like it's one of those handheld things. It's got a handle and a thing comes down curved like this and 4 or 5 little blades. I didn't have a cutter, so I used a fork. I used my fingers. I used my potato masher. Got it to look like this bumpy powder. Threw the 6 or 7 tablespoons of ice water in there. Kneaded it into 2 patties, about the size of a big pancake and flat. Wrapped them in cellophane, threw them in the fridge. I didn't have a potato peeler, so I peeled the knives by hand with my trusty Wusthof kitchen knife. Sliced them all up real thin. It was 6 Granny Smith apples. Mixed in the goo, stirred them all up. And then you always put a cookie sheet in the oven. I had the oven at 425 with a cookie sheet in, getting really hot. So that when you set your pie down on the cookie tin, it doesn't spill out over in the oven, and that hot tin goes up into the bottom of the pie really fast, and it stops the bottom of your apple pie from being soggy. I got a way I like an apple pie. Anyway, it came out. Is it glitching? It may be glitching. Anyway, so now I brought the pie in today and brought it around for everybody, and they said it was awesome. Anyways, just thinking of little things, little lessons from my childhood that are part of my everyday. And I always think about, what can I do to make everything better for everybody else? When I was young, it was always, what can I do to make things better for me? Steve, how are you? How was California? Hey, I'm on a live video, so don't say anything too personal, but you're welcome to come over here and chat. How's your dad?
He's good. He's doing better.
Yeah?
Yeah. Stabilized.
That's good.
Yeah. So,
Think we can get him down here?
they're gonna try, actually. Yeah, we're talking about it.
Oh, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's super happy about what's going on here. So.
Oh, is he watching what you're up to?
I've been telling him about it. So.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's better.
When we finished the airplane.
I was telling him about that. He's excited about that.
Good.
Yeah.
That would be great. I'd love to see him again.
He was tickled to death when I told him about that. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I worked on the airplane with my dad this weekend a little bit. He wanted me over. When the wing tapers, the fabric all gathers up out at the end. You can't do it in one solid piece. You got to do some nip tuck kind of bullshit to get all the fabric to lay down. So my dad's like, hey, would you come over and do the nip tuck on the wing? I said, yeah, I'll come over. So I got all that fabric laid down, and you're thinking how's this going to look after it's painted on the bottom of the wing where you're going to see it,
Yeah. Start rebuilding the engine soon?
I got everything here to rebuild the engine. The parts are all rebuilt. Everything's ready. I figure you and I will do it.
Yeah. Ready.
All right. Good. I'm glad you had a good go. Good. That's my cousin Steve. So he and I were raised together, and we were born within a month of each other. Our moms were pregnant at the same time, and we were just thick as thieves when we were little. He always wanted to be an astronaut, and I never wanted to be anything. I just wanted my family around me, my friends, and I kind of was fun fixated. So he was working for a company up in Seattle that was doing phenolic wood products, or paper layered material to make cutting boards and stuff. And I didn't realize the extent of his CNC experience, and I had been trying to hire him. And it's one of the hidden upsides of COVID. This is like Mr. Rogers. These are the people in your neighborhood. You want to come in? I'm shooting a live video. No, I'm not talking to myself. I'm having a little video.
Hey guys.
Hey you guys, I know some of you have met Lindsay. This is Lindsay E. We have the other Lindsay, tall Lindsay, and then both of them are 6 feet tall when they wear. When she's wearing heels, she's 6 feet tall too. You're gonna be a Blade Show.
I'll be at Blade Show.
What are you guys working on over here?
We're working on getting everything packed up, all the tables, and getting all the knives ready.
For me to crate up. I'm the crater and the creator. All right.
Bye guys.
What's up, Mom? You're next. Come on in. What do we got here?
Looking for a little more paperwork on this nice young man you're talking
Which guy is this? Brandon?
about. Yeah. I
Is it-
think he's the one that's given us.
Brandon's in assembly. What else do you need?
Does he have an application?
You don't have any paperwork at all on him? Well, talk to tall Lindsay.
Ah.
She should have a clipboard.
Ah.
All right. Like the haircut, Mom. Happy I'm wearing my Mother's Day shirt. Whiskey drinking, gun toting, throat punching, freedom loving son of a bitch. Thanks, Mom.
The one problem I find is there's no power over by that.
So when need a 110 outlet over
We need
there.
a 110. I already have to run the extension cord because originally we planned to tie it
It's
together.
no problem. I have the electrician coming in this afternoon. So I've got a 110 going in there. I've got 310s, one going in the top of the studio, and't got power going out for all the machines. So I got a shit ton of electricity,
Got
guys.
it covered.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Derek. A well-oiled machine requires a little oil every day. And this, for me, is kind of fun. I can kind of sit out here and that was weird. It's fun for me because I am really in love with bringing all these products to market. So when I get a chance to, that box may be a scrap. Maybe that one too. That one too. Boy, that's a whole stack of boxes that didn't get creased. Anyway, I gotta get all these little products we made shipped out, which is fun for me. I just love seeing boxes of things go out to points unknown around the world. I love helping out my friends with their businesses getting going. And what I have found, which is really cool, is my love for America. And people always say, you know, there's no more opportunity. It's not like the old days. My love for America is, I think it's infectious. Because I find all these people around me, you know, kind of watching me blow hard on videos and talk all the time, and they hear that I love what I do, and they're, I think they're inspired to go like do their thing, which is cool. And I've got all these wonderfully talented people who are all kind of part of my thing here. And there's no reason I should have all these talented people other than they maybe like what we're doing. Hey, Dawn. Want to say hi to everybody? We're live. Facebook and stuff. You guys, this is Dawn.
Hi.
Dawn, what's going on up front?
I'm just working on some orders for some new dealers.
Orders for new dealers. Awesome. And then how about, how was the apple pie this morning?
It was fantastic. It
All
was
right.
so good.
All right. That's
was
good.
so
That's
good.
good. All right.
It was
Good.
so good.
All right.
Hey, bye.
Making boxes. What are you guys up to on your Monday? 40 or so of you sitting here watching me do this. What are you guys up to? What's going on? What are you making? What are you selling? What are you typing? Sometimes, you know, the boxes from my company are all custom made for us. The boxes that we order for special projects are not custom made for us. And if the dies have gotten a little tired, like clearly they have on this batch of boxes, the cutouts and this sides cannot be as clear as you want them. So you make it work. So anyways, I guess I was feeling a little nostalgic. I'm a pretty nostalgic guy. So, looks like we're gonna do this Spitfire ride. I haven't told my dad yet, but I'm gonna bring him over to England. And I'm gonna fly a Mark 9 Spitfire out over the English Channel. And I think my dad is gonna be next to me in a 2-seat Spitfire. And I'm gonna fly in formation with my dad over the English Channel in a couple of Spitfires. And then, I'm still trying to work this part out. I'm trying to get one of the warbird aficionados from England to, they got a couple of Messerschmitt Hispano ME-109s from Spain right after World War II. That are basically the same as BF 109s from World War II. And I'm gonna get them to, see if I can get one or two of them to bounce into me and my dad in a 2-ship Spitfires. You know, those guys were all my dad's heroes. And some of them were mine as well. And I think it would just be an amazing afternoon. It would be one of those bucket list items my dad and I would just chuckle about forever. Be laying there while I'm signing my DNR. When I'm an old man thinking about that time I flew Spitfires over the English Channel with my dad and did a victory roll at Essex. What a 1940s moment that would be. So I'm putting 250 of these boxes together, and then I'm going to start putting the products together. I wonder if I'm doing this backwards. No, I'm not. Anybody up to anything interesting today? Put my glasses on so I can read some of your comments. Buster Gates, plugging away. What are you plugging? I spend a lot of time, as you can see, if you hang out with me for a little while, my friends are like, holy shit, dude, if they spend a little time with me. I basically spend most of my day just kind of solving problems. I do a little bit of knife stuff. Do a little bit of knife stuff. And then I do a lot of stuff that has a little bit to do with knives. If that makes sense. You can take some of Pauline's wisdom. If you always paint the fence, you never have to paint the fence. That's my profound comment for the day. Something to be said for just getting out of theory and getting into doing. Just do some making. I figured out I'm a child of the 70s and 60s, and I figured out that all of the stuff that I've done, you know, and we're all like this, it's not just me, you know. of the stuff that we've done is that, you know, we're the accumulation of those experiences, and it was so great being raised at the end of the do-it-yourself era, because I learned how to do everything. And although my dad was very technical, my mom was the one who was ballsy into anything, and we with reckless abandon would try anything out. And I get that from her. She works here now, for those of you who don't know. That was her a couple minutes ago. So I'm gonna put some Made in USA on these boxes here in a bit. And I'm gonna get out some bubble bags. And then I'm gonna do some assembly for a few hours and see if I can't get 250 of these little guys put together. Wait till you guys see the packaging on the ASK knife company. We've really, I think, gone out of our way to do something really cool. So we've got a packaging company that's kind of swinging for the fences, making all the stuff here. They do a lot of government packaging for government, for the U.S. military. And we wanted to do something that had kind of some military sentiment to it. Since it's the greatest military that's ever existed, there's something about great packaging that gives stuff a feeling of kind of solidity and permanence, you know. And it's always this seduction when you open up any product, whether it's you ordered a part for your airplane and you're putting it on your airplane, or it's your iPhone, or if it's a part for your motorcycle. That stuff can really, you know, it invites people into your thing and makes them feel confident in what you do. So I think a lot about, you know, look, we make a really intense style of knife that's got an intense drive towards functionality, and how do I translate that into the box? You know, I look at a box, I'm like, how do I get the packaging on the outside to start telling my story, our story, really an American story? How do I get it to do that, you know? You guys all know what I mean, because when you buy nice stuff, it's usually some really cool piece of packaging that goes along with it. I have people always come to me, hey, look at the box. Hey, boss, look at this. I got this thing for my RC car. Look at the box it came in. And I'm like, ooh, I like that. Look at expensive watches. Look at the packaging and the value. You know, if you go to buy a really nice watch and it doesn't come with the package, the box, its value is greatly diminished. All right, let's say that I got 3, 6, 9 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so this would be 90. So I'm gonna do 100 boxes, and then I'm gonna package up 100 of these little guys. This is, you know, it's funny, I do work for other people and I have to be secretive about it because they want to be the ones to be revealing stuff, and they have the right to do that, but it's weird for me because I'm always so transparent. That's 90, let's do 10 more. These boxes are for shit. Imagine you go through all the work to make a box and you let the die get dull and don't even check. What are you gonna do with people? I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but post-COVID, people are getting hostile. You guys notice that? Like they're driving in particular. Maybe it's just Arizona. I notice girls getting like, it's a shit box. Wow, that's just bad boxes. That's a waste. That's just sad. All the raw materials that went into making this box, just to be mediocre. Anybody do anything fun this weekend? We'd like to hear about it. Hey, Mike. See if I go down a little further in the box. Hey, do you ever get batches of these boxes that don't fold well? You ever get batches of these boxes that don't fold well?
Not like that.
Like, it's like they're, like, it's like the die is going bad on this box. All right, so like this one looks like it's got all the, watch this. So I go to bend it. It's like the die is wearing out. And I get it in place. And I mean, I've been, you know, this is not my first rodeo putting boxes together. I think we need to call Uline about these boxes and kind of work out a return.
Yeah, these shouldn't have that many like that.
I mean, I got stacks of them. It's like the die wore out. I'm wondering if I grab a new stack. I got 3 stacks here, and so far, 2 stacks, no good.
These ones are all custom.
See if this one's any good. So when they're right, they just fall together like this. Even this one, look, I gotta tear it. The perforations aren't all the way through.
Call them up and try to return something.
I think we need to say, hey, look, two-thirds of them are not perforated properly. Look at. And so they don't build properly. I mean, I'm trying to get along with them, but put this one together and then pick one out of there to do. Exciting stuff. See what I mean? Now, I got enough probably. I don't know if I have enough actually. But we got to get on the phone with them and say, hey, if you want them back, fine. But 2/3 of them were not perforated properly, and the die bending on them wasn't done to full pressure. I think what happened is their press, they had the PSI set wrong for the box. What I'm concerned about is we order another batch of them. They ran these 10 or 20 or 30,000 at a time, but the next 10,000 will all be the same way because whoever the meathead was working the press that day just had the pressure set wrong. That's my guess. But I'm gonna need more boxes. I'm at about 100 right now. I need at least another 150. Take one of them with you so you got a model. Sorry to give you extra stuff to do. How's it going over there?
It's good. I'm just stocking up, man. So it's really
Okay.
not. It's a good time for me to do this.
It's not a high pressure day.
No, not at all.
Good. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, these look like fucking.
They're shit, right?
Yeah, they are.
I'm like, am I just being a bitch?
No, that's fucking.
DBAC, man. DBAC. You know what that means? Oh, we're live right now, by the way. DBACs, don't be a cunt.
Yeah, no, it's fucking. Yeah, that's. You just want to.
Well, I want a credit for this box for all the fucking around we've had to do, and I want them to send at least one box in replacement at no charge.
Okay.
Yeah. We buy a lot of stuff from them. They shouldn't be sending out product like this.
No, yeah, we're constantly on.
Mostly just for wasting our fucking time.
I'm gonna take all this.
Thank you. And that stack's no bueno also. Yep. Looks like I got about half the box seems to be usable. Welcome to my world. We spend a surprising amount of time, as I'm sure many of you do, just ensuring that other people have actually done their job that we interact with. You know, it's like when you get the Verizon person on the phone and they seem like they don't want to actually do their job. You're like, hey, what are you here for? We want, when someone calls up here, we want them to feel like they're really important. We want someone to feel important. That's why big part of the zeitgeist of the business end of the company is always answer the phone and always be present. I was talking to someone yesterday and they were telling me about how their goal in life is to be happy. And I must have uncontrollably yielded some of my thoughts on being happy. And they said, what do you mean? I go, well, being happy that's the goal of a child. And they were like, what do you mean? I go, being happy, that's not a goal. I don't want to be happy. So I could be all fucking amused. I don't want to be happy. I want to be fulfilled. I don't need to be amused. I don't need to lick a sugar fucking cube, be happy. I leave happy for like deer. Maybe a deer wants to be happy. Maybe deer, I don't want to be happy. It is not a goal at all. When I have a happy time, I'm actually like, oh, look at that, I'm happy. But I'm not like, my goal is not to be happy. My goal is to be fulfilled. I hope you guys on this Monday have a fulfilling day. I hope that we can be a little part of that for some of you from time to time. I hope that I appreciate you guys coming around and listening to my rants and listening to me talk about life. And I hope that you guys, all of you, and hi Jim Hunts, by the way. I hope that all of you you know, I've been told a bunch of times that I was kind of a natural leader, and that's neither here nor there to me. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But if I am, I hope that people are inspired to be authentic because I am so raw. I feel like sometimes it's the Truman Show. Except I know I'm on. You know, I guess the whole point of that Truman Show was it was the first real authentic broadcast. And I think that's what people like about the internet so much, is the authenticity of it. It's not crafted together by a fucking panel out in Hollywood who are, they've done a focus group on what will get the most amount of 37-year-olds to watch. And I think the internet is, it's just, the thing about it is it has the potential so often to just be authentic and raw, which I think people crave authenticity. I have people who email me and say, you know, I don't agree with your politics, or they say, I used to not agree with your politics, but I enjoy watching your videos so much to see somebody who just kind of hangs it all out there. So I hang it all out there, and it's a risk to me, and occasionally I pay a price for it, but I've been warned by other knife makers, oh, you shouldn't talk about your politics. They say it when I've griped. Every now and then I gripe. Oh, you shouldn't talk politics. Oh, you shouldn't let anybody know. And I'd rather just be authentic and just fucking let it rip. Nothing to hide. I don't need to curry. You know, if you're a Democrat or a liberal or a Joe Biden supporter or an anti-Second Amendment guy, or you don't say cunt or drop the F-bomb, I don't need to curry your favor. We were talking about Amazon a few minutes ago, and one of the things I was saying is, you know, at some point, we were talking about this kid who developed the best mousetrap in the world. Someone say, all you got to do is, if you develop a better mousetrap, you know, great, the American dream is yours. Well, he developed this mousetrap that was amazingly effective. And within a month of launching their company, which was doing really well and selling more than it could possibly make, it was being knocked off by the Chinese. And they were selling it on Amazon, and they had taken his videos and used them in their promotional material. And he complained to Amazon, and Amazon wouldn't even do anything about it. They can spot, if you're talking about a subject matter, like the election, or some politician.
Well, I got him on the phone right now. Just trying to get a count of how many are bad.
Half.
Half of them. We're gonna send them back, and then they'll send us like back and say, so I got to count them. 150. You ordered 300.
Yeah, this stack so far.
I got 100 right now in the room. Counting these ones, I got 100.
I think it's gonna be 150.
150.
Well, let me go halfway down into this stack here and see.
See how they are.
Yeah, see there. It's the perforation. The perforation's not cutting through on them, and I mean they're awful. Like halfway down, all three boxes they got bad. Let's do it again. Make that box. See what I mean?
Yeah, you go to bend it and it bends right in the wrong spot. The lady on the phone, she's totally all about getting whatever we need done. She just wanted to count.
Yeah.
I was just like, hey,
I mean,
they're not perfect. We want them perfect.
No, they're awful.
Okay.
That one's so like we're already at it again. Let's see how these are. See how they don't bend right because they're just not stamped right. So.
All right, I'm gonna tell her 150.
No, it's gonna be more than that.
More than that.
So I got 90. This is 90 right here plus 130. Yeah, say 150. It's half for sure.
Okay.
Tell her my redo time's about 175 bucks an hour. I can't remember what I was talking about. About halfway down into each box, they start going bad. Each stack, I mean. Oh, we were talking about Amazon, and I was talking about Jeff Bezos, and I was saying those guys, until they had $1 billion, they were fucking nerds that couldn't get laid. And now they're titans of industry. And when they were, before they had all their money, they were borderline incompetent. And definitely not someone who was an aspirational figure. And now, what they don't get, how cool would it be if Amazon basically, I mean, they can find out if you're saying something they don't agree with and block you. Every search engine, Google, YouTube, Facebook, everybody, they know how to censor us, okay? Imagine if Jeff Bezos said, you know what? I've gotten a really bad rap shutting down Main Street America with my big fulfillment company. Here's what I want to do next. We're going to change the dialogue on planet Earth. We are not going to ever carry knockoff products. They could find that out super easy. They don't have to adjudicate anything. You don't have to adjudicate with the Chinese. You can see the date they launched a copy. Oh, I was telling you about the kid who invented the mousetrap. Within 30 days, the Chinese had spooled up knockoff copies of the mousetrap because those little fucking dirty commies over there eat mice probably. They want to catch them really well. They basically put him out of business. And they're on there right now on Amazon. And Amazon's like, we can't do anything about it. Amazon can't do anything about it because they're making too much money. But imagine if Amazon said, you know, we're fucking rich enough. We make enough. And instead of being a part of censoring speech or seeing what book you're not going to cover, or we're not going to cover this book, we're not going to cover this pamphlet about COVID. Imagine if they just said, we're not going to cover stolen products, and we're not going to adjudicate it. If you can show that you came up with the idea first, we're not going to let any, I got one for you. It doesn't have to be a big tribunal or make it a formal legal court. Just say, we know coming from China, it's almost always a copy. So by default, if someone protests, it can show their inception date here. We're just gonna stop this product coming in from these sources. If they just stopped carrying the products, the Chinese would have no place to liquidate them but Alibaba. And then Alibaba could be where you buy junk knockoff copies. And if Alibaba did it, they could actually get some goddamn credit as being a moral company. But they can't say no because they're part of the Chinese Communist Party. They can't stop the flow of money for the Chinese Communist Party. Amazon is part of the Chinese Communist Party and the Washington Post. Their job is to put out the proper propaganda to make us look bad. Even though the whole world wants to move here and we're the beacon for freedom globally. Our own institutions, because we're a bunch of punk sellouts for money, have sold us out and are misinforming our children. I could go on. Imagine if Amazon said, you know what? We're gonna battle it out and we're gonna start fighting copyright infringement. You can't steal. And you know, when I was a kid, stolen stuff had to be fenced at like a pawn shop or, you know, Amazon is the chop shop of intellectual property. It's where the dirty, rotten, filthy Chinese commies steal our stuff and sell it back to our own people. It reminds me of that great line in Fight Club where it says they broke into this liposuction clinic and they stole all these bags of human fat. And he's like, Tyler Durden was like, yeah, it's awesome, man. We get fat and then we sell it back to all these bitches as soap. They're just sticking it up our ass, laughing the whole time. All right, you guys want to see the efforts of my labors? Some boxes. I'm gonna start packaging up. I hope you guys have a bitchin' day. It's Monday in America. You know, really the greatest place in the world to be. I mean, I've been all over the world. This is the greatest place in the world to be. Especially if you like a little freedom. I recommend you all go get your freedom on. Enjoy. If you're a woman and you're voted for Biden, if you're gay, if you're black, if you're Asian, any kind of Asian, I don't know which, and get all mad at me no matter what I say. There has never been a better time or a better place in all human history to be, to try out your ideas, and to exercise your personal self-determination. There's never been a time where all races and classes were more empowered than here and now, ever. And what that means for us personal accountability freedom guys is you got no excuses. So get up and get it today. It's Monday. Get it. If you're going into a job and helping somebody else with some vision that you want to be a part of, or it's your own vision, no matter what it is, go fucking get it today. Somebody said, hey Greg, how do you determine who gets a raise? A lot of ways. If my kid comes to me and says, hey Pops, how do I get a raise? I go, make yourself so valuable, they're scared to have you not there. Work so hard, they don't know what to do with you. That's how you get a raise, and a promotion, and a career. All right, a little boxing on our Monday. I'm out. See you guys.